In the next 1 year, the vast majority of programmers will be replaced by AI programmers.
They may take up arms against it because it'll be so frightening to humans.
Programming plus math are the basis of sort of our whole digital world.
When the man who helped build Google says humanity might take up arms against machines, you pay attention. Eric Schmidt, the former Google CEO who guided the company into the AI era, just issued his most alarming warning yet. Artificial general intelligence isn't a distant dream. It's here, it's accelerating, and it might already be beyond control. In his latest interview, Schmidt said within the next decade, people could be fighting AI itself because it will evolve faster than governments can react. He predicts that within 3 to 6 years, most human jobs will vanish, and that within 10 years, AI will become smarter than all of us combined. This is not a movie trailer. This is one of the men who designed the digital world telling us that intelligence itself is about to outgrow humanity. Let's break down exactly what Schmidt revealed, how close
Today we're diving into a pretty stark warning about AI. Yeah, a warning that's got a lot of people talking. 3 main areas where AI is advancing way faster than anyone expected. Coding, cyber offense.
Quite convinced that this is the beginning of a new epoch. Henry, who was my best friend, and we as humans learned from going from direct faith in God to using our reasoning skills.
We have 18 months, just 18, before something catastrophic happens within AI. 1st of October 2024, which means 18 months from today, April the 30th, 2026. Now,
New non-human intelligence is likely to have better reasoning skills than humans can have.
increasingly powerful AI systems have the potential to accelerate scientific progress, unlock new medical treatments, and of course grow the economy.
Generally known as AGI and essentially superintelligence. This is going to happen really, really fast. People are not prepared for it.
Or we could face potential catastrophe. Now I know what you're thinking, another AI doomsday scenario. But hold on, scientific understanding, let's start with the coding part. Anthropic's own AI model, Claude, it went from solving just 2% of real-world coding problems to...
What I tell them is, one, this is not, ChatGPT is great, but that was 2 years ago. Everything's changed again.
in just 1 year. Think about that. That kind of exponential leap in capability has huge implications for how AI could be used. Both.
Second, you're not prepared for it. And two, you better get organized around it, the good and the bad. That in the next 2 to 4 years, the average is 3 years, the entire world will change.
Governments should urgently take action on AI policy in the next 18 months. This where it actually looks at how we've gone from GPT-1 all the way from GPT-4 now to this innovation area.
The agentic revolution, which everybody understands here what that means because many of you are in the middle of the agentic revolution, workflow example that's true of every business, every government, and every group human activity. The agentic revolution and the reasoning revolution together really change the way we operate as humans.
So we need corresponding innovations to sort of come alongside. Definitely advanced reasoning and test time compute.
Poorly designed knee-jerk regulation that hampers progress while also failing to be effective at preventing risks.
Watch it go forward and backward, and its reasoning, and it will blow your mind away.
Which basically just means that something will occur first, like the tragedy will occur first, and then the regulation will be built around such tragedy.
Especially when you ask it a question that you have no idea what the question is about, and you watch it reason. The system begins to learn on itself where it goes forward at a rate that is impossible for us to understand.
So that it cannot occur again. And I don't think we want to do regulation like that. We would rather prevent inside AI companies we see continued progress on as yet undisclosed systems and results.
It becomes combinatorial in a way that we as humans do not understand combinatorics. My own view is it's 6, but who knows? Short-term answer is there are people who are now looking at how do you control a super intelligence with a dumb intelligence. Recursive self-improvement or recursive intelligence is where the system is learning itself. Beginning to see agentic solutions that are doing self-learning. You'll start using systems that are learning as you're using them. It's the natural progression. One of the reasons is that those reasoning models are infinitely more expensive than a Google search. many, many thousands of times. AGI means it's generally intelligent. Now, generally intelligent means that you get up in the morning and you have free will.
Eric Schmidt began by saying, "This is the start of a new era, comparable to the Enlightenment." Back then, humanity moved from blind faith to reason. Now, he says, we're about to witness a non-human intelligence that reasons better than humans ever could. And it's coming fast. He told governments that ChatGPT was just the beginning, that everything has changed again. Most world leaders, he says, have no idea what's coming and aren't even remotely prepared. Then he gave a timeline. Inside a small circle of researchers in San Francisco, the so-called consensus group, experts now believe the world will fundamentally change in 2 to 4 years. Their average prediction? 3 years. They base it on 2 parallel revolutions, reasoning and memory. Schmidt explains it through what he calls the agentic revolution. Imagine AI agents that think, remember, and act on their own. One agent finds your new home. Another checks the legal permits. Another designs the building. Another hires the contractor. And another sues the contractor when something goes wrong. Each agent handles a part of life or business without you lifting a finger. That, he says, is the future of every company, every government, and every human process. Language plus memory plus autonomy equals machines that can reason, plan, and act independently. Schmidt says what makes this terrifying is
I think
recursive
largely invented here in
self-improvement.
France.
When
And
AI starts
you have
training
free will,
itself,
and you basically have
he
this
described it as a chain reaction where systems learn faster than we can understand. Once that happens, he says, it becomes combinatorial, a kind of intelligence we humans don't even have words for. The San Francisco consensus predicts that moment is about 3 years away. Schmidt personally gives it 6. But either way, he says the transition will be explosive. He then drew a line between AGI and ASI, artificial superintelligence. AGI means human-level capability, an AI that can think, learn, and act with free will. Schmidt believes we'll reach that within 4 to 6 years, but ASI, superintelligence, is something else entirely. It's when AI becomes smarter than the sum of all human minds. He describes a test for it, a system that can prove truths we know are correct, but that no human alive can understand. Even if all of humanity worked together, we couldn't grasp the proof, but the machine could. And that, he warns, will frighten people. When humans realize they've built something beyond comprehension, they might literally take up arms against it.
The consensus
He
is that
believes this
occurs. My own
confrontation could
dates
happen within a
are
decade.
between 4 to 6.
Of course, possibly because they are being tested or because revealing them could pose certain risks. So
Where the system is smarter than the sum of all humans. And the test for superintelligence is pretty simple. It can prove something that we know to be true, but we cannot understand the proof. No human can understand it. Even all of us together cannot understand it, but we know it's true.
this is where they're stating that these advances offer many positive applications, but progress in the same broad capability. Problem is that this progress also goes to those areas for misuse. Models have rapidly advanced on a broad range of coding tasks and cyber offense evaluations.
In the book, that when people see that, they may take up arms against it because it'll be so frightening.
Oh, so Eric Schmidt actually thinks that ASI will occur within the next 10 years. That's crazy.
A number of us wrote a paper on superintelligence where we speculated, how do you contain superintelligence? Your slope of innovation goes like that. In a network effect business, this is likely to produce slopes of gains at this level.
On software engineering bench software engineering tasks, models have improved from being able to solve 1.96%. Models can be used to obtain expert level knowledge about biology and chemistry. And for several models,
the opponent may decide that once you get there, they'll never catch up. If you believe that AI is this powerful, then every aspect of human experience will be touched by it. Democracies survive AGI, right? These are really the core questions about humanity.
Pretty wild interview so far. So in the upcoming part, Dr. Schmidt talks about the computational limits of building modern AI.
We're in a period of overbuilding. They'll say that there will be overcapacity in 2 or 3 years.
They've got a situation on their hands where these models, the problem is that pretty much every model has some kind of jailbreak, token, model, pwned, and basically there doesn't seem to be a real proper solution to the issue.
And when you ask them, they'll say, but I'll be fine and the other guys are going to lose all their money. If you believe the San Francisco consensus and you believe that reasoning, which is done through inference and through these back and forth, if you believe that those are going to be the defining aspects of humanity, then it's underhyped and we need even more. I've looked at this pretty hard because you have these massive data centers and NVIDIA is quite happy to sell them all the chips. I've never seen a situation where hardware capacity was not taken up by software.
Schmidt went deeper, describing a future where nations compete not just with weapons, but with algorithms. He said every major power is now racing to build AI researchers that are themselves AI. Imagine millions of autonomous scientists working 24 hours a day. No sleep, no food, just electricity. Each one making discoveries at digital speed. Once a country achieves that level of recursive AI innovation, its curve of progress explodes. Schmidt calls it a race condition of preemption. If one side reaches superintelligence first, the other might never catch up. And that could push nations into conflict. He admits that he's unsure whether humanity can contain something like this. Mathematicians are already trying to design frameworks to control a superintelligence with a dumber intelligence, but no one knows if it's possible. In his words, you can contain it, maybe. But we don't know. By the end of this year, Schmidt expects to see consumer systems that learn while you use them, adapting in real time. He calls it the natural progression of self-learning AI. And the hardware investments, tens of billions poured into NVIDIA GPUs and data centers, prove the tech industry knows what's coming. These systems, he says, are thousands of times more power-hungry than a Google search. But the world is building them anyway, because once reasoning machines scale, they'll outthink anything we've ever built. The illusion of control. Schmidt warns that what looks like a tech bubble, billions poured into data centers, isn't a bubble at all. He believes it's the foundation of a new industrial structure, the birth of an economy powered by reasoning machines. He recalls an old saying from Silicon Valley, "Grove giveth and Gates taketh away." Every generation of hardware created new software that used up all its power. The same thing, he says, will happen now. Every new chip will immediately be consumed by even more advanced AI models. In other words, there is no end to the scale. AI is a scale-free field, just like mathematics, limitless in scope. Systems can now generate and prove their own mathematical conjectures using protocols like Lean, creating a loop of invention no human can match. Schmidt says software will soon follow the same path. Programmers will simply tell computers what they want, and the machines will write the code themselves. He admits it's unsettling. His entire academic career was in programming languages and operating systems. And now, he says, that whole field might vanish. When he asked a developer what language he was coding in, the reply was simple: why does it matter? The same recursive logic that builds useful software can also build cyber attacks. AI creating exploits faster than humans can defend them. Schmidt calls it both amazing and terrifying. Geopolitical impact. He warns that this technology will divide the world. In the US, companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are keeping their models closed, while China is doing the opposite, releasing open-source models like DeepSeek, backed by state funding. That, Schmidt says, could flip the global balance. If open-source AI spreads faster, especially in developing nations, most of the world's AI usage might come from Chinese models, not Western ones. Even if America stays ahead technologically, its influence could shrink. This, Schmidt warns, could redefine geopolitics itself. where whoever controls the data and the chips
Old saying
controls
when
the
I was
future of
young,
civilization.
It was,
He
Grove
calls it
giveth,
the race for
and
silicon
Gates
strategy.
taketh away. The old timers will remember that the Intel chips would get better, but your computer never got faster. That this is a bubble. It's much more likely that you're seeing a whole new industrial structure. So historically important discovery. It began, right, to give them some credit. Historical event is a very big deal, right? And I say that with great respect for what they...
Eric Schmidt calls AI a scale-free field, meaning there's no limit to how much AI can advance.
The way these systems will scale is if the fastest scaling things will be called scale-free.
Models can be used to obtain expert-level knowledge about biology and chemistry, and of course, the knowledge that they're giving them isn't like GPT 3.5. Based on the progress described above, we believe we are now substantially closer to such risks. Surgical, careful regulation will soon be needed.
So what's an example of a scale-free field? Math, right? Completely new structures, which have no basis in fact, because that's the beauty of mathematics, and we know how powerful mathematics is. You can have one system that generates conjectures and another system that proves it, and that's a scale-free solution.
Research altogether, what they want is a balanced approach, one that focuses on three key principles. They're suggesting something called responsible scaling policies. Think of these as frameworks that evolve right alongside AI capabilities. It's a reminder that we have a responsibility to shape this technology in a way that benefits all of us. All for transparency and security, and for simple regulations that can adapt as AI changes. That's a really good starting point.
Software can be understood as eventually software people will say what they want and the computer will write the code. Language design and computer OS architectures. To see my entire validation be destroyed is the twin to cyber. So it will also, on the negative side, be possible to generate an enormous number of, and that's the basis for this power explosion in infrastructure. That's how we solve climate change.
How does the cheap race change global AI power dynamics?
And they were telling me that on a math basis, there's more open source in Europe than there is in the US. So that was really interesting. In the United States, because of the enormous amount of capital, the companies are not typically doing open source. If you have two models, open source and closed source, the open source will get much more adoption. America and the West are ahead, but the majority of the AI use is actually not from US.
What mistakes were made during the mobile wave that companies should today take into consideration and try to avoid in their new roadmap?
Every mistake I made was fundamentally one of time. When I look back at what we did at Google, but we didn't move fast enough. We didn't take it to its logical extreme as a sort of communications mechanism. I did not fully understand that your phone number would become your real unique ID in the world.
In the industry, there is a concern that people don't understand this.
So basically what they're stating here is that, look, when you've got all of this progress, the SWE bench going so crazy, we need to think about the fact that how AI systems have progressed dramatically in their understanding of the sciences in the last year. The widely used benchmark, the GPQA, the initial glimmers of risks that could become real serious in the near future. But we don't know exactly when the real dangers will arrive. Where they discuss their responsible scaling policy, which is how they manage to increase the capabilities of these models whilst keeping them safe. They also talk about the fact that the RSP should be iterative, basically saying that with every update, they need to make sure that they update this regularly. Actually talk about how they're going to internally document their findings and recommendations regarding the safeguards they've implemented. So it will be interesting to see a real thing. They're basically stating here that currently we don't have any way to verify any AI companies' adherence to responsible scaling. And they're basically stating, look, transparency alone doesn't guarantee robust policies, because the problem is that yes, these companies might be open about what's accelerating the AI industry. They talk about, of course, they must not impose burdens that are unnecessary or unrelated to the issues at hand. This is where they get into the, FAQs. And I think this is really good because I know a lot of people are going to have questions. Maybe you've even commented something down below. The RSP framework, we have advocated for high flexibility in designing these tests because the science of AI risk evaluation is nascent. And it says, our view is that regulation of frontier models should focus on empirically measured risks, not on whether a system is open source or closed.
Are enormous, right? Revolutionizing healthcare. Tackling climate change can help us solve some of humanity's biggest problems, all for transparency and security. And for simple regulations that can adapt as AI changes. That's a really good starting point. And it's one we all need to be part of. It's not just up to governments and tech companies, it's up to all of us. The choices we make, the things we talk about, the actions we take.
The final message. As his talk ended, around 1700 mark in the original video, Schmidt reflected on his time leading Google through the mobile revolution. His biggest regret was waiting too long. He said every mistake he made was one of timing, moving too slow while others moved fast. And now he's warning tech leaders not to repeat that mistake with AI. If you're going to do this, he said, do it now and move very, very fast. Because this market won't wait to Schmidt. Speed is survival. But to the rest of us, that speed could be the very thing that destroys us. Recursive. AI systems don't just evolve, they accelerate beyond our ability to predict them. Once we lose control, there is no pause button. The real question is no longer, when will AGI arrive? It's, can we survive what comes after? Eric Schmidt says the arrival of non-human intelligence will be the greatest event in human history, and possibly our last chance to shape it. From supercomputers to self-learning robots, the future is arriving faster than anyone expected. He believes it could be a new enlightenment, or a dark age of our own making. So the question remains, if AI learns faster than we can understand it, and governments can't keep up, who will decide what humanity becomes? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us as we unpack the truth behind AI,
because it'll be so,
power,
when people
and the
see
people
that,
racing to
they may
control
take
it
up
before it
arms
controls
against
us.
it.
Schmidt just gave another controversial interview. In his hour-long interview, he warned that AGI is arriving very soon.
Because it'll be so frightening to humans. Now, I think this will occur within a decade.
It comes from Anthropic, an AI company that's actually known for its work on AI safety. And they're saying we only have 18 months.
One of the things that's really revolutionary about the version 12 of Tesla's full self-driving is that it's an end-to-end generative model, and it learns from watching videos, surround video, and it learns about how to drive end-to-end, and using generative AI predict the path and the how to steer how to understand and how to steer the car. And so the technology is really revolutionary.
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. In the last 60 years, this is the biggest reinvention that you and I have seen. This is incredibly exciting technology. You want to engage it. The impact to your company is incredible, and you want to be an early adopter. This is the beginning of a decade of transformation, but you don't want to be second. This is the time you want to be first.
In a world that's rapidly advancing, one innovation is about to change everything. We've heard the promise of autonomous vehicles for years, but now, thanks to the vision of Elon Musk and a groundbreaking leap in artificial intelligence, we're standing on the precipice of something far more profound. This is about redefining how we interact with technology, how we navigate our world, and ultimately, how we live our lives. Elon Musk's dream of fully self-driving cars has always been ambitious. From Tesla's early breakthroughs to its promise of safer, smarter roads, we've been inching closer to a future where the car isn't just a means of transportation. It's a mobile brain, learning and evolving on its own. But now, the game has changed. Enter Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, whose latest announcement has not just moved the goalposts, it's completely shifted the field. Jensen reveals the fundamental technology that will make it all possible. This isn't about a Tesla-exclusive dream. No, this is about every car on the road, from luxury vehicles to your average sedan, needing autonomous capabilities. What makes this shift possible? The key is in how we teach AI to understand the world. Gone are the days when engineers painstakingly labeled millions of images, trying to teach AI to recognize objects in static snapshots. The future, as Jensen reveals, lies in video-based learning. This is about creating an AI that can see and react to the world as humans do, recognizing motion, patterns, and context in real time. What's truly staggering here is the scale at which this technology operates. Think about the monumental processing power needed to handle video data on a level that matches how we, as humans, experience the world. NVIDIA's Thor chip is at the heart of this transformation. A processor so powerful, it's 20 times more capable than its predecessor. This is the engine behind real-time decision-making, helping cars navigate complex environments with unprecedented precision. But it doesn't stop with the chip. NVIDIA is building a complete ecosystem to support this leap. With the power of NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture, the company is reshaping how data centers operate, laying the foundation for the massive computing needs of AI-driven vehicles. These are the unsung heroes of this revolution. Data centers, processing millions of video feeds, simulating real-world environments, and training AI to make decisions that could save lives and revolutionize transportation. Jensen envisions a world where AI is democratized. Thanks to NVIDIA's powerful AI supercomputer platforms, anyone from developers to creators can harness the power of cutting-edge AI at their fingertips, transforming industries from gaming to robotics to even digital biology. But back to the cars. The concept of full self-driving, once a distant fantasy, is now edging closer to reality. And as Jensen points out, this technology isn't just about getting us from point A to point B. It's about rethinking what a car can do for us. Safer roads, more efficient travel, and yes, a more enjoyable driving experience are all on the horizon. When we look back, we may very well see this moment as the turning point where AI redefined the future of humanity, not just in how we drive, but in how we live, work, and interact with technology. So, with NVIDIA at the forefront, the question isn't whether self-driving cars are coming, it's when. And the answer is sooner than we ever thought. Stay tuned, because the future is arriving at full speed, and it's going to be a ride like no other.
You know, another area that was announced yesterday was around NVIDIA Drive AI and really enhancing and helping the safety and security when it comes to autonomous vehicles. Where do you see that headed with NVIDIA Drive AI?
Well, we've been working on autonomous driving for some time, and it's already some $5 billion business for us. Yeah, and so the way that we serve the autonomous vehicle industry is through the three computer system: one for training the AI, one for simulating the AI called Omniverse, and one to put the AI in the car. And the car AI, safety is everything. And the way that you solve for safety, first the algorithm has to be safe, and so it has to be smart about what to avoid and what how to drive safely and such. But those are algorithm things. Even underneath that, the operating system has to be designed to be safe. The car computer has to design to be safe, in the sense that it can't fail. And if it were to fail, it would fail safely.
Elon Musk's vision for full self-driving cars has always been ambitious. But what NVIDIA's Jensen Huang just revealed takes that ambition to an entirely new frontier. This is about an AI revolution that is fundamentally reshaping how machines perceive and interact with the physical world, starting with the way these systems learn and evolve. Tesla has been a pioneer in autonomous vehicles for years, setting the pace in the race towards safer, smarter roads. But Jensen makes an important point. This future isn't reserved for Tesla alone. Eventually, every single car on the road will need to have autonomous capabilities, not as an optional luxury, but as a critical component for safety, convenience, and even driving enjoyment. This is a future that will redefine transportation as we know it. What makes this transformation possible is a shift in how AI systems are trained. In the past, engineers manually labeled millions of images, painstakingly tagging everything: stop signs, pedestrians, lanes, to teach AI what to look for. This was not only labor-intensive, but limited in scope. Now, the new frontier is video-based learning. By feeding raw video streams directly into AI systems, these models learn how the physical world behaves over time, recognizing motion, patterns, and context much more naturally, just like humans do. This technology mirrors the breakthroughs in large language models like ChatGPT, but with a crucial difference. It grounds AI in the physical realities of space and motion. That requires enormous computational power, which NVIDIA has built an entire ecosystem to support. At the heart of this ecosystem is NVIDIA's new Thor chip, a game-changing processor designed specifically for robotics and self-driving vehicles. With 20 times the power of its predecessor and engineered to run advanced transformer engines, Thor is the kind of hardware that turns Elon's FSD dream into a feasible everyday reality. It's the brain enabling real-time understanding and decision-making in vehicles navigating complex environments. But the innovation doesn't stop with the chip. NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture is now in full production, powering some of the world's largest data centers and cloud providers, from Amazon to Microsoft. These data centers form the backbone of the AI training infrastructure, processing staggering amounts of data and running sophisticated simulations necessary to perfect autonomous systems. What's particularly exciting is how NVIDIA is bridging the gap between massive cloud computing and personal AI supercomputers. Thanks to their AI supercomputer platforms available on desktops and in the cloud, developers, researchers, and creators can now harness immense AI power in ways never before possible. This democratization of AI technology is speeding up innovation across industries, from gaming to robotics to digital biology. Gaming, in particular, stands to be revolutionized. With AI-powered content creation tools, games will not only become more beautiful but smarter and more adaptive. Jensen highlighted DLSS4 and neuroshaders, technologies blending AI with real-time graphics to create experiences that respond dynamically to players. This isn't just about entertainment, it's about AI redefining how we interact with digital worlds. This means Elon's dream of full self-driving might be closer than we ever imagined. And when it arrives, it won't simply be a new feature. It could change the way we live, work, and move forever. Stay tuned as we explore the technology and visionaries behind this seismic shift. The story of AI and autonomous driving is just getting started, and the future is unfolding faster than ever.
Well, Tesla is far ahead in self-driving cars, but every single car someday will have to have autonomous capability. It's safer, it's more convenient, it's more fun to drive, and in order to do that, it is now very well known, very well understood that learning from video directly is the most effective way to train these models. We used to train based on images that are labeled. We would say this is a car, this is a car, this is a sign, this is a road, and we would label that manually. It's incredible. And now we just put video right into the car and let the car figure it out by itself. And this technology is very similar to the technology of large language models, but it requires just an enormous training facility. And the reason for that is because the data rate of video, the amount of data of video is so high. Well, the same approach that's used for learning physics, the physical world from videos, that is used for self-driving cars, is essentially the same AI technology used for grounding large language models to understand the world of physics.
If you're wondering how Elon's full self-driving vision might actually become real, Jensen Huang just connected all the dots, and it's wild.
We're here with Jensen Huang. He is obviously the CEO and founder of NVIDIA. Jensen, thank you so much for joining us. Huge keynote last night, opening CES up, everything from robots to new gaming rigs. I guess one of the main things that you had mentioned was how we're entering the age of physical AI.
Yeah.
As far as that goes for NVIDIA on the revenue front, when do we start to see that pick up? We have, obviously the self-driving cars, the robotics. We have a robot down there that's giving candy or will.
Yeah.
Where does that start to feed into the revenue stream?
Well, in order to train a robot, you need a lot of data. And the first version of consumer robots that we're all going to engage is the self-driving car. And we've been working on self-driving cars now for some time, and the business is some $5 billion estimated run rate this year. And that kind of puts it in perspective. And the reason for that is because in order to build a self-driving car, you need to train a mountain of data, video data, and NVIDIA's data center business is very important to us. And so in order to build robotics, you need three three computers. You need the training computer, that's DGX. You need the simulation computer for Omniverse, and NVIDIA is also in the simulation business. You know, computer graphics is not just for playing video games. You could use it for simulating virtual worlds for self-driving cars. And so the simulation computer is a very big business for us. And the third one, of course, is the robotics computer. All three computers are big businesses for us. And so if you just imagine, if just right now where the self-driving car business is, if it's already a $5 billion business for us, imagine how big it's going to be when we have 100 million new cars per year, 1 trillion miles driven per year. This is likely going to be one of the largest robotics industries in the world and one of the largest computing industries in the world.
And then this is the Thor chip right here. This is the new Thor. Yeah, this is the new Thor robotics processor. It's 20 times more powerful than the last one. It runs Transformer Engine, the Blackwell architecture, and this will go into self-driving cars. It will go into robots. It will go into all kinds of stuff. Well, the other thing that you guys had announced is a new super chip, the GP10, and that's running in digits. And this is this desktop, basically AI supercomputer.
Yeah.
Right. I guess when you look at something like this, and then you look at the customers that you have, the Microsofts, the Amazons, you know, they're running their own versions of supercomputers in the cloud. How do those two compute? How do they come together? You have someone who could buy this who may not be a customer for them. So how does that work out?
You know, the way to think about that is we have AI supercomputers in the cloud, and but people would like to have an AI supercomputer personally. It's a little bit like personal computer complementing cloud computing. And so we have, in the case of the computer industry, we started in the PC, went into the cloud. In the case of AI, we started in the cloud, we're coming into PCs, into personal computers. And so if you were a developer and you would like to have your own personal cloud, you could get one of those digits and have it all to yourself, and all of NVIDIA software runs on it, which is really a miracle. It runs on something that small, and so everything that you want to do in AI, you could do on that, or you could do it in the cloud. It's up to you, and we want people to be able to access NVIDIA AI however you like to do it.
And all of this is based on Blackwell. And I know during the presentation last night you said Blackwell's in full production. So what kind of uptake are you seeing from customers so far with regards to Blackwell?
Demand is incredible, and we're racing to get Blackwells into every data center in the world. All the cloud service providers have now stood up Grace Blackwell systems. They're liquid cooled and NVLink 72, and we have some 45 factories around the world building the systems necessary to deliver to them, and so it's going to be pretty exciting.
So when does Blackwell eclipse Hopper for revenue share, right? Because everybody's still on, or the revenue from Hopper is still coming in, but then Blackwell, you imagine, was going to take over. So when does that switch happen?
I would suspect probably early this year. I would like it to be as soon as possible, but of course Blackwell is still in allocation, and we're trying to ramp up the production, and but it'll be soon.
He said NVIDIA's self-driving car business is already pulling in $5 billion a year. That's not future hype. That's right now. And he made it clear, this is just the start. There are over 100 million new cars made every year, and NVIDIA's goal is to power a huge chunk of them with AI. Their new Thor chip? It's a beast, 20 times more powerful than the last one. It's designed to run transformer-based AI models, the same kind of tech behind ChatGPT, but inside a car. That means real-time decision-making, learning from video data, reacting to the world instantly. That's what makes Elon's dream of FSD even possible. And then Jensen dropped this. Their Blackwell chip is now in full production, and every major data center in the world wants it. Amazon, Microsoft, Google. 45 factories are building systems non-stop to meet the demand. So when he says AI is entering the physical world, it's not sci-fi anymore. Elon's FSD? It might be closer than we think, because NVIDIA is literally building the brain to run it.
I guess gaming, this is for me, by the way. Gaming is, obviously, was a huge part of last night. How important is gaming to NVIDIA still, with AI being the huge kind of moneymaker now?
Gaming is super important, but gaming as an industry is going to get revitalized by AI. Both the content creation part of it is the cost of creating content will go down because of AI, and the games are going to be more interesting because of AI, and the games are going to be more beautiful because of AI. The technology that we announced last night, DLSS 4, is just utterly incredible, and we fused AI and computer graphics, programmable shaders, and AI into this thing called neuro shaders, and so we've even brought AI into computer graphics, and so I think the video game industry is going to get revitalized by AI, which is really great. But computer graphics is essential to almost everything that we do as a company, and we use it for simulation, we use it for design, and it's going to be a very important part of our business for a long time.
Part of that announcement with the RTX is being able to run AI on an RTX system. So I have a PC at home.
Yeah.
I have an RTX system. I can run AI models.
Yeah.
What does that look like going
This
forward?
is Blackwell.
I mean,
this is literally Blackwell. The Blackwell architecture that we have in the cloud that we use for supercomputing is right here. And so the thing that you'll be able to do, of course, you'll be able to create your own AIs if you like. We have a cloud called ai.nvidia.com, and we put a whole bunch of AI models up there, and these AI models are all prepackaged into what we call NIMs. They're vision models, language models, animation models, physical models, digital biology models. Whatever you would like to do as a software engineer, developer, creative artist, you could go download those models and go create your own AI, and just runs on your PC.
I guess just as a final, we're looking at these new kind of custom chips from the likes of Broadcom. How does that kind of connect with NVIDIA? Where does NVIDIA see the advantage versus something like a custom chip for Broadcom making for a Google or one of NVIDIA's other customers?
Well, the fundamental trend is very clear now. When you take a step back, what it says is that everybody now realize accelerated computing is the path forward. And general purpose computing that we have in the past, $1 trillion worth of data centers we've already built, those data centers are going to get modernized. And so the first takeaway is that accelerated computing is now clearly the path forward. The second thing is we do things that are very, very different. NVIDIA, of course, our architecture is open. It's fairly pervasive, and as a result of that, you could put NVIDIA in every cloud. You could put NVIDIA in every company. You could apply NVIDIA into self-driving cars, into robotics, because it's so versatile. And so I think the fact that our architecture is literally everywhere makes it the best architecture for developers, makes it the best architecture to innovate on, and it's the best architecture to build new industries like robotics and self-driving cars and others. And so I'm quite excited about the future for accelerated computing and AI.
What Jensen said next really surprised me. He made it clear, gaming is still core to NVIDIA. Even though AI is driving their biggest revenue now, he's not moving on from gaming. Instead, he says AI is going to revitalize it. Think about this. Creating high-end games today costs tens of millions. But with AI, the cost of content creation drops fast. And the games? They'll look better, play smarter, and even adapt to players in real time. Jensen introduced DLSS 4, an AI-powered graphics boost, and a new tech called neuro shaders, which blends AI with real-time graphics. It's not just eye candy anymore, it's intelligent. And here's where it gets wild. That same Blackwell architecture powering supercomputers and data centers, it's now inside RTX PCs. If you have a high-end NVIDIA graphics card, you can run powerful AI models right at home. He even mentioned their cloud platform, ai.nvidia.com, where you can grab pre-built models for vision, language, animation, even digital biology. So whether you're building a chatbot or a video game character that learns, it's all within reach. Then came the question, what about companies like Google using custom chips from Broadcom? Jensen didn't flinch. He said the shift is clear. Accelerated computing is the future. General-purpose chips are becoming outdated. And while some companies make custom chips for themselves, NVIDIA's open architecture can be used by everyone. In every data center, every cloud, every car, every robot.
Jensen, just one more quick last question. I'm glad you talked about the auto business and what you're seeing there. You mentioned that automotive is now the largest vertical, enterprise vertical within data center. You talked about the Tesla business, but what is that all about? Is it self-driving among other automakers too? Are there other functions that automakers are using within data center? Help us understand that a little bit better.
Well, Tesla is far ahead in self-driving cars, but every single car someday will have to have autonomous capability. It's safer, it's more convenient, it's more fun to drive, and in order to do that, it is now very well known, very well understood, that learning from video directly is the most effective way to train these models. We used to train based on images that are labeled. We would say, this is a car, this is a car, this is a sign, this is a road, and we would label that manually. It's incredible. And now we just put video right into the car and let the car figure it out by itself. And this technology is very similar to the technology of large language models, but it requires just an enormous training facility. And the reason for that is because there's the data rate of video, the amount of data of video is so high. Well, the same approach that's used for learning physics, the physical world, from videos that is used for self-driving cars is essentially the same AI technology used for grounding large language models to understand the world of physics. So technologies that are like Sora, which is just incredible, and other technologies, VO from Google, incredible. The ability to generate video that makes sense, that are conditioned by human prompt, that needs to learn from video. And so the next generation of AIs need to be grounded in physical AI, needs to understand the physical world. And the best way to teach these AIs how the physical world behaves is through video, just watching tons and tons and tons of video. And so the combination of this multimodality training capability is going to really require a lot of computing demand in the years to come.
Now this part really brings it all together. Jensen just confirmed that automotive is now the largest enterprise vertical inside NVIDIA's data center business. That's huge. Even 10 months ago, he was saying it out loud. Cars are the future of AI, and Tesla is leading that charge. But here's what stood out. He didn't just praise Tesla. He made it clear. Every single car is going to need autonomous capabilities. Not as a luxury, but because it's safer, easier, and frankly more fun to drive. And the way we train these cars, it's changing fast. Before, engineers would hand label millions of images, telling the AI, this is a car, this is a stop sign, and so on. That's not scalable. Now the car learns from raw video, just like how AI models learn language. Jensen says this video-based training is key to understanding the physical world, something large language models can't do on their own. This is where things get real. Think about models like OpenAI's Sora or Google's Video Poet. They're generating realistic videos from prompts. But to make those videos make sense, those models need to learn from video too. It's the same foundation as self-driving, just applied differently. And all of this requires massive computing power, the kind NVIDIA is scaling with Blackwell and their 45 factories. So when Elon says FSD is getting better every month, this is the backbone of that progress. Even 10 months later, Jensen's prediction is unfolding. Physical AI that understands space, time, and behavior, is what's going to power the next generation of cars, robots, and maybe even the AI we use in everyday life.
NVIDIA's first co-packaged option, silicon photonic system, it is the world's first 1.6 terabit per second CPO. This is really crazy technology. Crazy technology.
The world of AI is advancing at a pace few could have predicted. Faster, smarter, and more integrated into our lives than ever before. But here's the catch. None of it works without the right infrastructure. We're talking about the kind of systems that power everything from self-driving cars to the virtual worlds we escape into. And right now, one company is about to change the entire game. In his latest keynote, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang unveils a technology that promises to reshape the future of AI computing forever. So, what does this mean for the future of AI? And why should we all care? Let's break it down.
Okay, so first of all, we're announcing NVIDIA's first co-packaged option silicon photonic system. It is the world's first 1.6 terabit per second CPO. It is based on a technology called micro-ring resonator modulator. It is completely built with this incredible process technology at TSMC that we've been working with for some time. And we partnered with just a giant ecosystem of technology providers to invent what I'm about to show you. This is really crazy technology, crazy technology. Now, the reason why we decided to invest in MRM is so that we could prepare ourselves using MRM's incredible density and power, better density and power compared to Mach Xander, which is used for telecommunications when you drive from one data center to another data center in telecommunications, or even in the transceivers that we use Mach Xander, because the density requirement is not very high until now. And so if you look at these transceivers, this is an example of a transceiver. They did a very good job tangling this up for me. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, mother of God. Okay. This is where you got to turn reasoning on. It's not as easy as you think. These are squirrely little things. All right, so this one right here, this is 30 watts, just so keep you remember, this is 30 watts. And if you get it on, if you buy it in high volume, it's $1,000. This is a plug. On this side is electrical. On this side is optical. Okay, so optics come in through the yellow. You plug this into a switch. It's electrical on this side. There's transceivers, lasers, and it's a technology called Mach Xander, and incredible. And so we use this to go from the GPU to the switch to the next switch, and then the next switch down, and the next switch down to the GPU, for example. And so each one of these, if we had 100,000 GPUs, we would have 100,000 of this side, and then another, 100,000, which connects the switch to the switch, and then on the other side, I'll attribute that to the other NIC. If we had 250,000, we'll add another layer of switches, and so each GPU, every GPU, 250,000, every GPU would have 6 transceivers. Every GPU would have 6 of these plugs, and these 6 plugs would add 180 watts per GPU, 180 watts per GPU, and $6,000 per GPU, okay? And so the question is, how do we scale up now to millions of GPUs? Because if we had 1 million GPUs, multiplied by 6, right, it would be 6 million transceivers times 30 watts, 180 megawatts of transceivers. They didn't do any math, they just moved signals around. And so the question is, how could we afford, and as I mentioned earlier, energy is our most important commodity. Everything is related ultimately to energy. So this is going to limit our revenues, our customers' revenues, by subtracting out 180 megawatts of power. And so this is the amazing thing that we did. We invented the world's first MRM micro mirror, and this is what it looks like. There's a little waveguide. You see that on that waveguide goes to a ring. That ring resonates, and it controls the amount of reflectivity of the waveguide as it goes around, and limits and modulates the energy, the amount of light that goes through. And it shuts it off by absorbing it or pass it on. Okay, it turns the light, this direct continuous laser beam, into ones and zeros. And that's the miracle. And that technology is then, that photonic IC is stacked with the electronic IC, which is then stacked with a whole bunch of micro lenses, which is stacked with this thing called fiber array. These things are all manufactured using this technology at TSMC called, they call it COUP, and packaged using a 3D CoWoS technology, working with all of these technology providers, a whole bunch of them, the names I just showed you earlier, and it turns it into this incredible machine. So let's take a look at the video of it. Just a technology marvel. And they turn into these switches. Our InfiniBand switch, the silicon is working fantastically. Second half of this year, we will ship the silicon photonics switch in the second.
This could completely reshape how data is transmitted. The world's first 1.6 terabit per second silicon photonic system. What a quantum leap, right? This breakthrough is more than just a faster data transfer solution because it's really the cornerstone of a new way of thinking about how data is moved and processed. The key innovation behind this system is the use of micro-ring resonator modulators, MRM, a technology that will drastically improve efficiency and power management. What sets this apart isn't just the raw speed, though that's impressive in its own right. The true power of this technology lies in its ability to handle vast amounts of data more efficiently, with a smaller energy footprint. NVIDIA has leveraged TSMC's state-of-the-art process technology to make this possible, pulling together an ecosystem of technology providers to create this groundbreaking system. The implication here is enormous. A transformational leap forward in how we think about computing infrastructure. But of course, to understand the significance, we have to look at the larger picture. This is more than just about creating faster chips or more powerful systems. They are laying the groundwork for AI's next era. AI infrastructure must evolve rapidly, and this new silicon photonic system is the bedrock for that evolution. As we continue to demand more from AI, more data, more processing, more applications, systems like this will be the ones that power that demand sustainably and at scale.
If you're following Elon's moves and how government policies impact the markets, you need Seeking Alpha. It's my go-to for expert stock analysis to help you stay ahead. Check the link in the description for a special offer. Our channel may earn a commission.
So let's take a look at the video of it. a technology marvel. And they turn into these switches. Our InfiniBand switch, the silicon is working fantastically. Second half of this year, we will ship the silicon photonics switch in the second half of this year. In the second half of next year, we'll ship the Spectrum X. Because of the MRM choice, because of the incredible technology risks that over the last 5 years that we did, and filed hundreds of patents, and we've licensed it to our partners so that we can all build them, now we're in a position to put silicon photonics with co-package options, no transceivers, fiber, direct fiber into our switches with a radix of 512. This is the 512 ports. This would just simply not be possible any other way. And so this now set us up to be able to scale up to these multi-100,000 GPUs and multi-million GPUs. And the benefit, just so you imagine this, it's incredible. In a data center, we could save tens of megawatts. Let's say 10 megawatts. Well, let's say 60 megawatts. 6 megawatts is 10 Rubin Ultra racks. 6 megawatts is 10 Rubin Ultra racks, right? And 60, that's a lot. 100 Rubin Ultra racks of power that we can now deploy into Rubins. All right, so this is our roadmap. Once a year, an architecture every 2 years, a new product line every single year, X factors up, and we try to take silicon risk or networking risk or system chassis risk in pieces so that we can move the industry forward as we pursue these incredible technology. Vera Rubin, and I really appreciate the grandkids for being here. This is our opportunity to recognize her and to honor her for the incredible work that she did. Our next generation will be named after Feynman. Okay, NVIDIA's roadmap. Let me talk to you about enterprise computing. This is really important. In order for us to bring AI to the world's enterprise, first we have to go to a different part of NVIDIA. The beauty of Gaussian splats. Okay, in order.
And like everything else, there's a critical challenge in AI computing that most people don't immediately think about: scaling. Data centers are the backbone of AI, but they face a massive hurdle: the energy required to scale AI systems effectively. As Huang details, when you multiply the number of GPUs in a data center, you encounter a huge problem: power consumption. Each GPU requires multiple transceivers, which are both energy intensive and expensive. If you scale this to 1 million GPUs, you're talking about 180 megawatts of power just for the transceivers, and the cost skyrockets. Each transceiver can run upwards of $6,000. This is unsustainable for any industry looking to scale rapidly. The heart of the issue here is that energy is the most valuable one in AI hardware. Without it, there's no scaling. Without it, data centers simply cannot function at the level AI demands. This is where NVIDIA's MRM technology steps in. By utilizing this innovation, NVIDIA has solved the energy consumption problem. Instead of relying on the traditional power-hungry electrical systems, they've turned to light-based transmission, using MRM to modulate data with incredible efficiency. This shift is really crucial. It enables the industry to scale at the pace that AI growth demands. MRM technology opens the door to a future where AI systems can be deployed at a scale never before thought possible without collapsing under their own energy requirements. NVIDIA has taken a problem that could have hampered progress and turned it into an opportunity for exponential growth. What we're witnessing here is not just another piece of hardware being unveiled. It's the dawn of a new era in AI infrastructure. As we push forward into an AI-driven future, it's innovations like this that will shape how AI scales and integrates into our daily lives. This is the beginning of something much larger than just hardware upgrades. As AI becomes even more embedded in every aspect of our world, We'll look back at this moment as the silver lining time when the foundations of AI computing were solidified.
In order to train a robot, you need a lot of data. And the first version of consumer robots that we're all going to engage is a self-driving car. And we've been working on self-driving cars now for some time, and the business is some $5 billion estimated run rate this year. And that kind of puts it in perspective. And the reason for that is because in order to build a self-driving car, you need to train a mountain of data, video data. And NVIDIA's data center business is very important to us. And so in order to build robotics, you need 3 computers. You need the training computer, that's DGX. You need the simulation computer for Omniverse, and NVIDIA is also in the simulation business. Computer graphics is not just for playing video games. You could use it for simulating virtual worlds for self-driving cars. And so the simulation computer is a very big business for us. And the third one, of course, is the robotics computer. All 3 computers are big businesses for us. And so if you just imagine, if just right now where the self-driving car business is, if it's already a $5 billion business for us, imagine how big it's going to be when we have 100 million new cars per year, 1 trillion miles driven per year. This is likely going to be one of the largest robotics industries in the world and one of the largest computing industries. The way to think about that is we have AI supercomputers in the cloud, and but people would like to have an AI supercomputer personally. It's a little bit like personal computer complementing cloud computing. And so we have, in the case of the computer industry, we started in the PC, went into the cloud. In the case of AI, we started in the cloud, we're coming into PCs, into personal computers. And so if you were a developer and you would like to have your own personal cloud, you could get one of those digits and have it all to yourself, and all of NVIDIA software runs on it, which is really a miracle. It runs on something that small, and so everything that you want to do in AI, you could do on that, or you could do it in the cloud. It's up to you. And we want people to be able to access NVIDIA AI however you like to do it. Demand is incredible, and we're racing to get Blackwells into every data center in the world. All the cloud service providers have now stood up Grace Blackwell systems, or liquid cooled, and NVLink 72, and we have some 45 factories around the world building the systems necessary to deliver to them, and so it's going to be pretty exciting. I would suspect probably early this year. I would like it to be as soon as possible, but of course Blackwell is still in allocation, and we're trying to ramp up the production, and but it'll be soon.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, or drop a comment below. We've got more deep dives coming your way. Stay tuned for the next one. See you soon.